Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and today we're going to be talking with our most recent past president, Dr. Brian Lieberman. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing great, Doc. Thank you so much for having me, for hosting, and doing such a great job.
Oh, I appreciate that. Absolutely. Glad to have you and excited to talk about one of our upcoming events that's always been a fun event. So why don't you just jump right in?
Excellent. So in a couple of weeks or a week and a half, whatever, we have June 4th, Saturday, from 2 to 5. We have a third annual Chiro Cornhole. So we started this I started 3 years ago, but to just another way to have a social activity combined with some fundraising. We're actually raising funds this time for End Slavery Now. And it actually deals with human trafficking issues. It's a guy who I know from my town who, when I talked to him, we were talking to him. I was talking about the golf tournament, how we're raising money for some of the substance abuse issues, and he was like, well, that's interesting because of how many of these normally young ladies, when they are trafficked, that they get them hooked on drugs so that they're much easier to manipulate and control. So that when they are able to start helping them, that one of the major things they've got to do is with the recovery from drugs, getting off drugs and the addiction issues. So we donate money to them, but we also just have a great time. There is food. We'll have barbecue type food out there for everybody. We do it at Dr. Daniel Tu, who's the current GCC president's office. In I think it's on Sandy Plains Road. I think it's 2480, but it's called Friends and Family Chiropractic. Am I correct? Is it 2480?
I think it's 2480. I think that's considered Marietta, Sandy Springs, not Sandy Springs, Sandy Plains.
Sandy Plains Road. Is it? I say Sandy Springs? Yeah, Sandy Plains Road. It's right across from that high school over there. So, but it's a great event. We always have a really, really good time. It's a BYOB, but there's always some there if anybody wants to share. So, but some people will just bring some beverages. We'll have soda and water and that kind of stuff out there for people. And then it's run a tournament style, but you don't have to. It's for all levels of cornhole. We're not trying to see who's the best cornhole player, though there will be a group because we use the service that actually brings in all the tables and stuff, and they basically advertise it to their people who are tournament players. Like last year, I think it was the year before, we had a guy who was like number 8 in the country playing. So they end up setting up brackets. It's $25 a person, $50 for the team of 2. You can come as an individual. You can come with a team. You can come and watch. You can come and help. You can do whatever you want. Just come and hang out. Whatever works. But they'll also be very good. So what we're trying to do this year is to make sure that we kind of have 2 brackets so that we don't have everybody playing these professionals the whole time, so that we can actually have more of the regular players and then the professional players, and that way it's just a little. But there are cash prizes for them. So if you know anybody who's a really good cornhole player, this is a great tournament for them to play in. But we're there to have just a great time to raise awareness of the GCC, to get our members together, non-members together. You don't have to be a member. Students. We have a lot of students usually come out and do things like this. So kind of also piggybacking off our last event, which was at your place, actually, where we call it Cinco de Chiro. Was that, do you know what year it was this year?
I think I've lost count because like the first year my son DJ'd at the Treehouse, and that had to be at least 5 years ago.
At least, yeah. Right. That's what I was going to say, 5 or 6 years. Yeah. So, which is a great event. We had great speakers. Dr. Dan Tu just was incredible.
On fire.
Yeah, you should talk a little bit about that, probably.
Oh my gosh, Dan Tu came out like Rocky. Like he came out and he just threw down. He was so on fire. I've seen him speak and I've seen him be great. I've never seen like that. The passion that came out of him that night, he just ignited. There were so many students there. There were a lot of docs there. He just ignited everyone. And then it kind of kicked off this thing where then the students and the other docs that were there, they just wanted to get up and it was almost like Parade of Stars, like they just had to say something after hearing him and they just got so fired up. So it really was an awesome night. We had a great time, great turnout. And I know cornhole always follows right after. That's always an awesome event as well.
It is. It's usually a good time. We moved it back. The first year we did it in August, and that was not a great idea. It was quite hot, but this is much better time of year to do it, where you'll have just warm days, but nothing crazy. We'll have tents out underneath to hang out in. But it's a really, really good time. I hope people will continue coming out and supporting the GCC and having fun together and building relationships and breaking bread and, getting to talk philosophy. And that's what it's all about for us.
That the social aspect is such a big part, and that's a big part for everyone, especially after these last 2 years where not everybody's been traveling to seminars or able to get together with, your type people. So to be able to kind of come out, hang out, have a social thing, have a good time. Look, we do a lot of continuing events as well, but to be able to come out to a social event and have a good time with people, I just think it keeps us so much more plugged into what it is we do and why we do it. And it just reiterates that we're not the only ones. We may feel like we're an island sometimes in our town doing our own thing and there's nobody else that gets it. But going to these events, it's just a reminder that we're all in this together and we are having a huge positive effect in the state of Georgia. It's
pretty cool. Like when I would get together, when I was first in the GCC, and I would hear all about Dr. Pete's and Dr. Gregory and all these old timers and how they used to travel together with their kids. And they had events like this all the time where they just stayed really plugged in. And I think sometimes, with technology, we've gotten a little bit sometimes like almost lazy of, possibly getting together. And then COVID comes in, and COVID made it even more acceptable to be over a computer. And, I love the technology. I think it's great. I think it helps in so many ways, but there's nothing, we just had our board meeting and, it was our first one in person and just in this year. We've met in person after, during COVID and stuff. That wasn't an issue, but we just had it in a while. And it was just good again to get in the room together with people who are just like-minded, who are working for a similar cause. And, we just putting together and trying to follow through with some of the plans that the board, came up with during the retreat that happened a couple of months ago. It was refreshing again, and it's hard to do. I finished at the office 6:35, had a doctor's report at 6:45. I had to leave that early and have my associate and intern finish up with it so I can try to get down to Marietta, which an hour drive from me. And a lot of times it's kind of like sometimes I'm the same way with when it comes to like doing my doctor's report, where like right before I do it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then when I'm done with it, it's like it was such a grounding, such a reassurance to me of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And that's how the board meeting was. And that's how usually these events are, like Chiro Cornhole, where we, it's not really about cornhole, but cornhole's fun anyway. So why not go do it? We all like hanging out. And you kind of remember that, human contact interaction on a personal level and live is not, babies aren't touched when they're born. They'll die. I mean, that's, it's an incredible human need that we don't take advantage, that sometimes isn't always taken advantage of enough. So I'm so excited that we're continuing to do these things, that we're getting people out, and, we just want people to come out and, get loved on. And if you need help in your practice, if you need help with something going on, let's, it's also a time to break stuff down, see what we can do, see how we can help, see what we can do better as an organization. We're in good hands, making great headway. There's a lot of legislative stuff coming up right now, which is great, just support for some candidates that are coming up that I know will be, doing what the organization does. If you are not, donating to the PAC, we're trying to just get people to donate, $20 a month, $25 a month. I mean, I think I do 40 or 50, I forget. But not a lot, just put something on a credit card that just renews every month, because right now we got to write some checks, we got a governor race going on right now, preliminary, primary coming up right now. And then, we've got quite a few. Sharon Cooper, who's the head of the Health and Human Services Committee. She's up for re-election, and she's always been a really, really good friend of GCC and chiropractic for us, especially on the front. Not even as much on what she does, but what she won't allow. She has said publicly she's spoken at a couple of our conventions, and she said, as long as I'm head of Health and Human Services, there will not be drugs and chiropractic in the state of Georgia. And it's not because, really, to be honest, it's not because of her love of chiropractic and how much, she knows about what we do. but she's a very big fan of staying in your lane, and that, that chiropractors traditionally do not prescribe drugs, and that she doesn't see any need for more people prescribing drugs or stepping on anybody's turf. And we don't, I mean, I would love for her to know, to be such a chiropractic advocate, but that's important either way. And these things happen through relationships. And so we've had, we donate to her election, and we're going to again. So if you're listening and you are not donating to the PAC, you can do it as a one-time. You can do it as a recurring. But please do. This is a really, really important time right now. There'll be support. Karen Mathiak is running right now as well, and she deserves, and we'll get our money as well. So we'll be writing her a check. And then I forget the other one we were talking about. There's another one. I don't know why it's escaping me right now, but there's another one that we were saying that, really important that we send them some money as well. So we also try to, whenever we do one of these things, we'll have stuff out for the PAC, but you don't have to wait for that. You can either get in touch with Katrina Frazier, our executive director, or I believe there's a link online. I don't know if you know, yes or no, isn't there?
There is on our website at georgiachiropractic.org. There is a link for the PAC.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, you can also register just while don't forget, there's you can register for the Cornhole Tournament and any of our events on the website, georgiachiropractor.org. That's always a way to do it, and the easiest way to do it. So that also their sponsorship, Life University and Sherman have both sponsored us in the past. So we have their boards, that we made cornhole boards up with them. So I just always want to recognize them and appreciate them helping us. And I think DE might be sponsoring this year. We're looking at a sponsorship also with it. So, just a great group of people surrounded by, we have great, to my opinion, there's 3 great chiropractic schools, and, 2 of them within a couple hours of where we'll be. One right there in Marietta, where I graduated, the Mecca, Dr. Sid's baby, and just, great chiropractic college. And so that's the GCCs do. And, do you have anything else about cornhole? I want to make sure we talked about.
No, I think cornhole, it always falls on a day when I've got an event going on in downtown Woodstock, because we're always sponsoring everything. So we're usually down there rocking and rolling, meeting a lot of new people. So unfortunately, I will be at a huge event this year.
Is it a concert again, or
another concert? Yeah, we've got extra concerts this year. This year we've got them.
I'm sorry, are you still the MC?
Oh yeah. So,
and how many people come to these events usually between what?
This Saturday night we had about 10,000 people for the Prince concert, and they were on their feet dancing.
Awesome.
We've got Kicks 101.5 is moving a big festival to Woodstock, so it's like the Mud Bugs and music. It's like Crawfish Festival. So we've got that on the same day as Cornhole, and then of course we have our regular concerts that come up every week on the second Saturday. So I never get to make it to cornhole. I miss that one all the time. But
man, you do so much for your community, and it should be recognized and noted as well, because you know what? Not everything is chiropractic, even though sometimes we make it like it is. But for you, you do it through your office, right? I mean, you're a big sponsor through the office. So yeah.
I do it through the office, but like this, at this past concert where we have a firefighter, 22-year veteran for the city that just got diagnosed with esophageal cancer. So we decided that I met with people and I said, bring me 2 firefighters boots. And I had my son and one of the officers get up on stage with the boots. And I said, we need to fill these boots. And we not only filled the boots, I mean, we're going to do it every concert for the rest of the season, because
what a great idea.
Yeah. The amount of money we raised for him.
Firefighters. They're so underappreciated and so unfunded. So how did you get a number of how much was raised then?
So they didn't give me a number, but the cute part was my son, Anthony. Everybody knows Anthony. He's 13 years old. He came up on stage. He's so cute right now. He thought he was at church. He walked up and down the pews, right? Like the aisles of people with the chairs with the boot. And people are like, of course I'm going to give you money. You're cute with a boot.
How do you say no to a young kid with a fireman's boot? I mean, come on.
Right.
You got to be pretty heartless. Yeah, you got to.
And the best part was he texted me. He's like, Mommy, you got to meet me at the firefighters tent. And his boot was so stuffed with money that like they were pushing down. They couldn't even get the money out of it. That's how much it was stuffed. And the look on his face, he was like, Mama, I saw at least 3 people put $100 bill in for firefighter David. And I said, this is why we live in service, babe.
That's
like I got goosebumps right now.
Me too, right when you said it.
You see how good it feels to do something for somebody else? And that's what we do. You know, we live that lasting purpose, all of us. Yeah. We live that lasting purpose, but to see our kids embody that as well, whew, it was awesome.
How fortunate. Yeah. You know, speaking of life, you know, my daughter now Bree is in third quarter at Life University. She meets this guy 5 years ago. They've been dating for 5 years now, engaged in January. And he was going to be a firefighter. Interestingly, he had his application already in, got accepted. Was supposed to start training in March, and in February, right after we got back from him getting engaged, he said he had asked me to adjust his twin brother who was not doing well, and I came up, got him checked, and adjusted him. This is when we were in Cancun, and when we get back from Cancun, he calls, says, "We want company dinner, have dinner with you guys." We said, "Okay, what's up?" He said, "We'll tell you when we get there." Well, he realized he couldn't do anything for his brother, and then he saw me come in and get adjusted and say what he said, saw the life come back into him, and he's like, "What am I doing? Like, that's what I want to do also." So now he's in first quarter now at Life, and so we're just super excited. And there is to see kids go into it and to understand it regardless of what they do. Honestly, I never tried to get them to be chiropractors. I just, they always knew what it was. They grew up at DE, and I always told people about, even like at DE, that I'm a speaker. I never wanted to be a speaker. I was definitely afraid of speaking. It's not anything I even tried to do at DE. But you stick around long enough, and sometimes they ask you. But all I wanted to do was raise my kids there, because I wanted them around the same principles. I couldn't bring them to Life University, where I originally started getting the principles. Between Life University, Dr. Sid, and DE, that's where I got the principles of the service, lasting purpose, give, love, and serve out of your own abundance, no expectation of return. I couldn't bring them on campus all day and let them go through classes, but I could still bring them to DE and have them just sit on the back on a blanket when they were young, and then run around the room and wonder how much they're getting. But then when you see them become servants and stuff, it's special. And that's why, a lot of them people will bring their kids to these events that we'll do like this, because it's powerful. It's powerful. And for us to be able to live our life, just in service is such a blessing, man. It's such an amazing thing. And when it's not about you is when you'll have a great practice that is self-sustaining and things are happening that are really special. So.
And so,
listen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a small plug, because the next event, and I don't know if anybody will get to it, is in Columbus, Georgia, our South Georgia CE event, because we do CE around the state, is June 25th and 26th. So if you know anybody that are chiros down there, or somebody wants to travel, or there's a big military base down there, that's a great place to get your CE credits. Then we'll be in the summer CE in Atlanta. We'll be in Augusta after that. And then I think then we go to Savannah, and then we have our big convention in December. So just, trying to be of service even to, a lot of the people. It's interesting, like and I know in Augusta and Savannah, because I always go to those two, a lot of the people there are elderly that are just need to keep their license, aren't even in practice or finishing out practice. And, for us to come there to them is such a service to there's other people too, but it's such a service to them that they, they could get up and try to drive 3 hours or 5 hours and go to Life University and do it free, or, do part of it online, but they like to come and do it. And they really are appreciative now. Savannah, this is our 10th year where we've gone to Savannah every year, brought in incredible speakers from all over the country who just do a great job. We have 2 board members that are in Savannah, Dr. Steve Wernicki and Dr. Caleb Scroggin, who help out with that event. And it's awesome. Then when we go to Augusta, we have Dr. Chris Walker, who's a phenomenal chiropractor down there who helps us put on that. But if you haven't been to any of these, or if you're not involved with the GCC, or if you're not a member, please join. I think it's like $65 a month. You can do like 40 or something, but for like $65 a month, you're a member, and your CE is free, and you can pick from whatever places you want to go. I don't know how much easier we can make it to be part of an organization that's working to save your ability to practice in a principled manner, so that, we know that you can take x-rays to look for subluxation, and you can take care of a child, you can take care of an asymptomatic person. These don't just come on accident. Like, this is hard fought over the years, and it's going to come. These things recycle, man, and we're already, we already saw part of the drug push to get drugs into Georgia, and that's what the GCC is about, making sure that legislation stays right. to try to get you CE credits, that when you finish on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it is, that you don't feel like that you have to hose yourself off, because the information had very little to do with what you know, what you do or what chiropractic is. Right. And that on Monday there's things that you were taught there that could help you, you know, do better in your practice. Like, that's the whole deal. And then also to put on social events so that we can retain that connection. So just, if you're not a member, become a member. If you want to get more involved, even without, you know, you don't have to be on the board, but, you know, if you're a member and you want to get more involved, we invite you into our board calls. We do them once a month. Every other month is in person. It's changed a little bit now, but like this past Monday, our next meeting is do you remember the date? June? I wrote it down. I just don't have it right here.
I know. I have it on my calendar somewhere, but yes, it did change. So I don't.
I'm
not going to quote it because I'll get it wrong. I know it's conflicted with my LCW calls too, so I got to make sure that we're good.
Right. And what is it? The third Monday? Am I correct? It's the third Monday of the. Well, all right.
Yeah,
don't quote either one of us. Yeah,
I'm going to not say it because I know we've been switching it, and I don't want to say it wrong.
I appreciate it. Yeah, me too. So, Katrina's putting up all the different stuff. The Chiro Cup and the 2480 was the address, Sandy Plains Road in Marietta. So that's good. We have CEs at DE in August and October. My goodness, Chiro United soccer game coming up. I love it, man. This is great. It's awesome. A great group of people. We have a great board. Dr. Kathy's been on it for a long time. Also, she's a huge supporter and help when I was president. Does a ton of work, and for her to even be on this board is beyond me, because she's on multiple boards, and you just heard what she does just in one part in her community. And by the way, she also practices in the office and raising two kids, co-parenting 2 kids, and so a whole lot of stuff going on. So we appreciate your service. You're absolutely an ambassador for the GCC and for chiropractic, and not as celebrated maybe as you deserve. So we love and appreciate you. That's for sure. Third Monday at 8 p.m. board meeting. Next one is June 20th via Zoom. Katrina, you're a whiz.
My calendar.
Yeah, right. Let me write this down. So June 20th. So if you want to get on, you just gotta get that one's going to be on Zoom. So you just got to get with Katrina at the home office, and she can get you the link so that you can come and just hear if you want to talk or anything. If something you need to talk, you want to get more involved, or you want to just see what it's like, so that you might want to get more involved. You want to volunteer, anything, man. Most people know that 80%, 20% of people do 80% of the work, and there's, we're always looking for, and I love what you say about many hands make, light work. So any more hands we can use would be awesome. There's a lot. So many ways to be involved, but, minimum pack, come to some events, do CE with us, become a member. Those are all different levels. GeorgiaChiropractic.org.
I think you got it. You did great today. Listen, anything else we need to add for people, or you think they got enough and they know they better get here, get connected, stay with us, come have some fun?
I think we got it rolling. I appreciate your help so much in doing this. And till next time, love and appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.